What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, with this video, we are jumping back into the Wasteland with Wastelanders Hawkeye issue number 1 one-shot. This is a new series that is bringing us back into Wastelanders, with us already covering the Wolverine issue. If you did not catch that, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you all caught up on Old Man Logan and Baby Hulk. Now, for those that don't know, decades ago, the supervillains united and they collectively wiped out nearly all of the superheroes, leaving the remains of the wastelands of the United States in a brutal landscape nearly devoid of any kind of hope. And these stories are about the last remaining heroes. Now, Hawkeye, one of the few heroes to survive the day the villains won, merely surviving until the unthinkable happens. Hawkeye had missed a shot, and that is because Hawkeye was going blind. Recognizing that his vision is going out, he has one last mission, and that is to take revenge on the former Thunderbolts who killed his friends. And with him accomplishing this mission, his eyesight does in fact go completely out. And wanting to do some kind of good in the world, he went looking for a teacher that could help him traverse this new world as a blind man. With this story taking place after Old Man Hawkeye number 12 and prior to the original Old Man Logan. And so with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so we are picking up at Hobgoblin State Park, formerly Utah, deep in the Wastelands. And this is 48 years after the fall of our heroes. And we have Old Man Hawkeye currently calling out Marco the Terrible. Hawkeye has come to put an end to his reign of terror and control, because Marco the Terrible and his men, they have been plundering nearby villages, taking their resources. Hawkeye, wanting to put a stop to all of this, he calls out the Terrible Brute. The only thing about this is that Hawkeye had no clue who Marco the Terrible is, because Marco the Terrible is actually Kane Marco, aka the Juggernaut, and we see him come piling through the side of the saloon. Hawkeye quickly realizing that he is messed up. He just called out the wrong person, and launching as many arrows as he can at the Juggernaut, these things are just bouncing off of him. Now, the Juggernaut is also an old man, so it definitely takes him some time to build up his momentum. His knees, his body, it's worn down. He is still the unstoppable force. The only thing about it is, he has to really actually get moving to be unstoppable. So it's really like, it's a fight of geriatrics. That's really what it comes down to. It's two old dudes who just can't give up the game. But with the Juggernaut trying to get over there, nearby he sees a tanker, so he picks that tanker up and he chucks it at Hawkeye. That tanker he is able to miss, but just barely. It goes barreling into nearby buildings with a giant explosion. Hawkeye barely able to get to his feet, and as he begins to get up, this is where he hears somebody. That somebody being Daredevil. Now Daredevil is now going by Stick, and he has shown up to let him know that Hawkeye can't see a dang thing, and it has absolutely nothing to do with his blindness. Daredevil telling him that he was taught better than this. He knows that because Daredevil himself helped train Hawkeye when his eyesight went out. Now we see the Juggernaut, he is trying to take on Daredevil, and Daredevil is sidestepping him every step of the way. With the Juggernaut getting extremely frustrated, he ends up charging at Daredevil, but is unable to stop himself as he keeps moving, and he ends up going off the side of a cliff. Because like he said, he is an unstoppable force, and with his late age, with his current injuries, he could not stop himself as he got that momentum. Now, this is a man who is also invulnerable, or essentially invulnerable, with Daredevil able to hear the arthritis that was in his knees. He knows that it is going to take years for the Juggernaut to be able to climb out of that place he fell. Now, Hawkeye, he's excited. He's like, awesome. This means we saved the day. We actually did it. We fought Juggernaut and we won. We saved the people. But behind them, the entire town is engulfed in flames. And so while they may have defeated Juggernaut, they definitely did not save the day. And so we are taken to the sanctuary of MATT MURDOCK, aka Stick. And as they sit here in meditation, Hawkeye does everything he can to try to explain himself. That when he first came here, Stick, his sensei, trained him to be better, but along the way, somehow he got lost. Nonetheless, Daredevil had taken him in, he had trained him to the best of his ability, how to focus all that anger in a specific direction to give him the advantage. But he also lets him know that while Daredevil was hiding out here, he was in Las Vegas the day the villains banded together and killed all of the heroes. All of the heroes except for Hawkeye. And that's because Zemo left him alive, believing that he was not a threat. He is just a guy who shoots some arrows. And in the grand scheme of things, with all the other Avengers taken out, Hawkeye, he's really nothing. Add his blindness, and he is nothing more than a blind old man. Now, Daredevil lets him know that he is simply blinded by hate, that he has let all of this rage, all of this need for vengeance build up for decades now. And so Stick wants to give him one last lesson, with both of them flying in a helicopter somewhere in the mountains. He tells him that he is going to land near a compound. His job is to infiltrate, find the target, and then use what is inside to pierce the heart. The only stipulation is he cannot open this box until the very last minute. That it must be a surprise. But more than that, he needs to be in the right state of mind. That if his mind is clouded with anger, he is going to die a horrible death. And with that said, we see Stick push him out of the helicopter, telling him to count to 10 and then pull those strings. And so he goes flying out of the helicopter, going down to the ground, not keeping his count. He pulls it too late. And this compound he is landing at is Hand Castle. And he was supposed to be going in under some kind of cover. But the problem is, because he pulled that too late, he ends up landing directly in the front freaking yard of this castle, with Hawkeye getting boots on ground, thinking maybe he'll be able to have some kind of stealth and being able to infiltrate the castle. It takes a matter of seconds before he has ninjas descending down on him. And so we see Hawkeye make his way through the compound. And you can tell that Stick has trained him extensively well, because he is making his way through here without any kind of issue, using all of his other senses to be able to combat these ninjas. Having a couple of trick arrows on his side, he is able to make some explosions, put some arrows in some ninjas, and make his way through. And we see him pile his way into the building. As he gets through and takes down some ninjas, this is when he smells something. He smells a perfume, and that is because the perfume, it belongs to Elektra. And we see old lady Elektra come in and give a great kick to Hawkeye's face, letting Hawkeye know she is not going to show him mercy just because he is blind, saying she knows this because she has spies everywhere. The Hand has spies everywhere. And with him grasping the box that Daredevil had given him, he reaches inside to pierce her heart with whatever is inside. And what he grabs out is a bouquet of flowers. And we see a hologram of Daredevil pop up, letting Hawkeye know he never once said that it was a weapon. And Elektra saying that he remembered, that it is their anniversary. Now Hawkeye at this point, he's livid. He's like, are you kidding me? You had me deliver flowers to your ex-girlfriend, to your evil ex-girlfriend. And that's because Stick could not do it. They would have had to fight each other to the death. Because she is the leader of the Hand and because he is who he is, it is more of a code of honor than anything else. And while they may love each other, they may care about one another, they would still have to fight each other. And so he had Hawkeye deliver these flowers. But it wasn't just about that. It was about delivering one final lesson to Hawkeye. That he may be blind now, but in his mind, what memories he holds right before he lost his vision. What memory is that? Is it a first kiss? Is it a sunset? Is it moments you spent with your daughter? Or is it something darker, letting him know that he doesn't train people to go out and have revenge. He is training students to build a better tomorrow. And as he goes to walk out saying he guessed he failed then, Elektra asking, do you think he is going to be able to survive out there long enough to make himself change? And Stick lets her know, like, probably not. He's probably not gonna live, saying that it is a miracle he even made it this far. But if anyone is stubborn enough to prove him wrong, it's Hawkeye. And with Hawkeye walking off into the sunset, that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, I really wasn't sure what to expect jumping into this story, but as I began to read it, as I got into it and saw that Stick was part of this, I was 100% on board. This story was absolutely phenomenal because what Stick is trying to convey to him is that the past, it happened. It happened 48 years ago. And ever since that day, ever since he lost his blindness, the only thing Hawkeye has been able to see is a blinding rage, a blinding need for revenge. And it has consumed him, every aspect of his life. And the lesson that Daredevil wants to point out to him is that you need to move on. You need to let go of the past. You need to let go of the things that happened, and you need to focus on a new world, on a new tomorrow. That this world could have potential if people like you put in the effort to build a future and stop living in the past. Now, obviously, this is something that Hawkeye he's just not ready to get to. He is not ready to get to that point yet. And at the end of the issue, it does say "the end?" , leaving it possibly open for more story later on. And I really do hope we get more. I would really like to see the character arc of Old Man Hawkeye. And the next issue, we are going to be diving into Wastelanders Star-Lord. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.